Meanwhile, in a major international crackdown, the Narcotics Control Bureau has busted a global pharmaceutical drug trafficking syndicate under Operation MedMax. The operation began with a vehicle interception in Delhi on the 25th of May, where 3.7 kilograms of tramadol tablets were seized from two B-Farm graduates. Investigations revealed a vast international network using encrypted digital platforms, B2B e-commerce sites, cryptocurrency payments and drop shipping models to smuggle controlled medicines to over 10 countries across 4 continents. 8 people were arrested in Delhi in Delhi and also in Jaipur as well as Udupi, acting on intelligence shared by NCB. The US Drug Enforcement Administration, that is the DEA, arrested a key reshipper in Alabama and seized over 17,000 tablets. The probe also uncovered cryptocurrency wallets, active parcels, and indicted an Indian-American individual for money laundering. The syndicate's operations were reportedly directed by a UAE-based mastermind who handled finances and global shipments to Hawala and Shell companies. The NCB worked closely with the US DEA, Australian Federal Police and Interpol in what officials describe as one of the most far-reaching operations against pharma-linked drug cartels. Joining us to discuss this story in further detail is Alok Mehta, Editorial Director of India News. Dr. Monish Bhalla, former NCB officer, also joins us live. Major General Rajan Kochar, defense expert, joins us. RVS Mani, former Under Secretary MHA, is also with us now on the broadcast. Alok Mehta, let me make a start with you first. What do you make of this successful Operation MedMax and how Indian authorities cooperated with various other ones across the world to nab these individuals who were smuggling these drugs and other illicit medicines?
Udaji, the real problem is that the drugs is also involved with the terrorism. That's why I think the India is leading in this sense. If you remember in G20 and other forums also, Prime Minister raised this issue that we should cooperate with each other. And that's why I think this is a very major breakthrough. What India is taking an important role for the world. Because if you remember, I think our experts are here from Narcotics also. They will tell you that since Ziaul Haq, I am following those days, Ziaul Haq was a part of the drugs business at that time. So Pakistan, Afghanistan is also an opium producer country. So that's why I think these kind of drugs, and you see in our some area in the shipping from the sea area or from airport, India in last few years, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the government and Finance Ministry and the Home Ministry and the international, this Narcotics Bureau with coordination with other countries also. Now we have very good collaborations with the Americans and the European and British. They are also cooperative because it's a very serious problem there. In London, New York, we talk about the Patna and Delhi or Mumbai, but I think the worst situation in those countries, they are suffering because of this type of drugs. That's why I think the India is a very honest people are there when we talk about the so much corruption in India and all. But I feel that in some departments, very honest people. That's why when a number of people in the opposition, they say, okay, they go seized. How many drugs seized means that there is some corruption. I mean, if he is seized, then how it can be corruption? It's true that we are corrupt. People are not involved with this drug business. That's why they are raiding. So I think this is a major breakthrough, and especially with the United States. Now they are also cooperating because United States and Europe suffering this. And even I think it's just starting. Other countries should also cooperate. But I hope and wish that our neighboring countries, Nepal and Pakistan, Sri Lanka, they should also cooperate. You see what used to be terrorism those days are in Khalistani. What they do because of the drugs business and then the arms. These are all connected. That's why I'm not just our story of Sunday Guardian is very breakthrough. Nobody covered it. That's why I want to congratulate also our colleagues in Sunday Guardian because they exposed and extensively covered it. And I think that's the media's role is this, that and everybody, that we should encourage this kind of information and create awareness because the younger generation, the school children, they are suffering this of the drugs. And I know still, I think in India, we have to do a lot. We can't, because as a journalist, we can't go in a raid. But I know number of people, because of this Blake money and all, is still happening because of the drug business. Either in Noida or Gurgaon or Faridabad, Punjab, especially Punjab is also suffered a lot. You know, even the films made about it. And now it's a very serious problem because of the terrorism. So I think we should congratulate those officers and create more awareness. India can lead all over the world in number of now even in the Latin American, African countries, Nigeria and all. Our people they used to talk about the Nigeria, but now it's all over the world is a serious problem, and that's why in BRICS certainly Prime Minister is just now we talking about the news item, the cooperation. So with these countries in Thailand, neighboring Malaysia, Indonesia, so the Prime Minister is not talking only we're talking about the terrorism, what is happening, and everybody is supporting us, but it's in totally drugs and the arms and the terrorism involved. That's why I think India can play a very major role.
Absolutely. Let me, in fact, also quickly rope in Dr. Bhalla now. Dr. Bhalla, this is, of course, a big Sunday Guardian exclusive, detailing for our viewers of our sister publication how this operation actually was conducted. It was a global bust and something which is the need of the hour. Dr. Bhalla, how do you react to the recovery, the coordination, how it happened between Indian and other foreign authorities, and also whether this can now be the template for many more such operations in the future too?
Thanks for calling me to the channel. And I would first like to congratulate the journalists who were involved in this story. Of course, the officers who are behind this. Okay. So without he's rightly said, without the honest officers, this is not possible. And I think in the recent times, I have not seen such a beautiful coordinated effort, especially spreading through 4 continents, 10 countries, and syncing together and getting very good results. So this is definitely going to be the template for the future. And I'm sure we will see a lot of things happen now, especially when we are targeting the new methods of smuggling. India, in fact, in one of my articles in a very leading newspaper, I had written that India is also becoming a hub. Okay, so here, this is a proof that India has become a hub also. We were only a transit route maybe 2 decades back. Then we slowly became a consumption center also, and now we are a hub also. That means there are pharma drugs, because we are a pharma giant country of the world. There are drugs which are now going out of the country. Okay, and this is the example. Especially tramadol, we saw this, the seizures which happened there, and the other drugs. So this is going to be a template if international coordination in such fashion is going to happen, especially when we see the oceanic countries. I'm talking about Australia and New Zealand. You must be aware, and all our friends will be aware, that India has become a very big hub when it happens that the drugs are going to Australia and New Zealand and the oceanic part. Okay, Europe was always there. Okay, but this sector is very important, and in this case, we have seen the coordination in all the 4 continents. We also saw coordination with the Switzerland, with Spain, okay, US of course, and Australia. So I think this is going to be a future template.
Okay, let me in fact also bring you in here, Major General Rajan Kochar. Major General Rajan Kochar, it's very important also, as Alok Mehta was saying earlier, to bust these kinds of syndicates and nexuses and networks, because this money is going to funnel and fund terrorism. And that is something that is at the crux of it all, isn't it, Major General Kochar? How do you react to how this successful Operation Medmax has gone, and what are the ramifications for this bust for the future too?
Thank you, Uday. I think this is only the beginning. It's only the tip of the iceberg, I would say that. Because this drug racket is very deep rooted. And we have heard about the Golden Crescent, the Golden Triangle, Latin America, the Afghanistan, Iran, Turkey, Europe nexus. So when we talk about this, you look at the magnitude. 296 million people use drugs in the world today. That is almost 5.8% of the GDP of the world. And this trade is 500 to 650 billion dollars every year, almost 2% of the global GDP. So look at the magnitude of this trade, 1 point, magnitude of the people who are using drugs, and according to latest statistics, there has been an increase in drug intake amongst the people by 23%. So when we see such a growing market, I think this is only the beginning. A lot more is required to be done, and I think the areas which need to be addressed is modern technology tools, because what is happening now, the dark web is being used, and we are seeing this blockchain technology also coming in, artificial intelligence also coming in. So most of our government agencies here fall short of technology because we are aware of the constraints the government has in absorption of technology. So I think the private players will have to be co-opted by the government into the investigating processes. Possibly somebody from the NCB will sort of a techo cell within the NCB, if not created, has to be done with very high caliber people in NCB. The second is Manishji has very rightly brought out this international cooperation. You see, normally when you are carrying out these kind of investigations, there is a huge probability of a leak somewhere. There is a huge probability of a lead being actually given away and people getting alerted. And of course, the honest people also have to matter here. But here I would like to compliment the Interpol, the DA, the NCB, and all other these intelligence agencies of these countries who have been involved in busting this racket. And unfortunately, it gets busted in India. So it clearly, I would like to substantiate what Mr. Bhalla has said again, that India has become now a hub center. There is a call center being operated in Udupi, Kerala, where these entire transactions are being logistically monitored. There is a dark web which is functioning. A Telegram channel is being used for making these clandestine operations, encrypted ones, and business to be a business platform with premier vendors. So now, where is the check on these business to business platformers, and especially the people who are dealing in online pharmacy? See, all these areas have to be brought under a closer scrutiny by the government, and few lessons would have emerged after this operation. I am sure that in times to come, see, it won't be possible to finish off this entire thing, but it's too deep rooted. The governments are involved. I will give you an example of Pakistan. You mentioned that Pakistan's ISI is actually
Yes.
involved in drug trafficking, and Pakistan's ISI, a major fund base, is drugs from Afghanistan. So when the government themselves are so intricately involved into this racket, it becomes very, very difficult. You know, we also here in our own country, you keep on hearing after every 6 months there is a drug catch and people are caught, put inside, then they are on bail. A judicial process takes almost years to go.
And you know,
So all
also
these
something
aspects have to
new,
be addressed.
and also something new, RVS Money, that is happening is the involvement of cryptocurrency as well in these illegal networks. That is something that is being used more than ever, was used in this particular instance as well. And it's something that obviously we need to now guard against.
Indeed, surely. Thank you, Uday. I entirely agree with you that indeed we have our own systems and regulations in place. The IT Act and the IT rules which were notified in 2019, and we have also had a particular vertical in the Department of IT, that CERT. They are all doing wonderful job, and they are quite well. They are upgrading themselves technologically as per the challenges. See, always the criminal is 1 or 2 steps ahead of the enforcement agency. That's a very basic fact of jurisprudence. In spite of that, they keep upgrading, and also they are well coordinated with the IA. They also attend the multi-agency center meetings and all that. So that part of this is well taken care of. But this is as much we can do, because the criminal, as I said, is always 2 steps ahead. Having said that, I take you back to Mr. Alok Mehta's wonderful opening, that see, basically Zia-ul-Haq, it would have been in splinters, but Benazir Bhutto, after the death of Zia-ul-Haq, coming into Pakistan, the entire center, it's all marked by the timelines of both, you can check. The entire center of gravity of drug trade shifted from Latin America to Pakistan, AFPAC region, with Jalalabad and the Afghanistan, which was in turmoil those days, producing the biggest drug. And drugs, narcotics, even now, whether synthetic or original opium or whatever, as per the DIA estimates, somewhere around 30% of the anti-India terrorist activities by the ISI, the funding, 30% of the funding comes from drugs, and balance by FICN and all that. So these are all the perspectives. The NCB, Abhinandan Mishra has brought out a wonderful report. There is no doubt about it. The NCB is one of the best agencies. They have been cooperating with that. There are many MOUs which have signed, but one of the crucial MOU which are being dodged by the Pakistani government is the India NCB ANF, Anti-Narcotic Front of Pakistan.
Okay.
That they are finding ways and means to dodge signing that MOU, because that will elucidate more commitment from that. And that is where, because ISI will not permit them to sign the MOU. Even in 2007 it was ready. It was initialed in 2006 or 2005, but it was ready initialed, but thereafter I do not know what is the status, but the MOU has not come through. We have MOU with several countries in Europe, but the real culprit that is dodging the MOU, their right earnest is a suspect. They do not want to stop this drug trade, because drug trade also not only feeds their anti-India terrorism activities, the terrorist agencies, but also several nefarious things, including the money from the drug is used for lobbying with the different countries.
Right.
Whether Asif, so it is a goose which lays the golden egg, the drug trade, and that needs to be attacked. As long as that, the spillover, the operative part, the logistics, and the technologically also, that money is used for including hiring the darknet or the cryptocurrencies and all these via medias are also there. So the center of gravity has to be now attacked. We appreciate that huge amount of drug, it has been cracked. Udupi call center, Udupi is a very, very dangerous location. It is very close to Bhatkal, where the Indian Mujahideen was founded.
Okay.
So these are all challenges, and that is what I hope we will start. The NCB and the
Right.
NIA combined will start working on it. And
Right.
another thing is the judicial process.
Yes. Let me go back across to Dr. Monish Bhalla now on the cooperation aspect as well. Because what we've seen, of course, is in this particular operation, there has been, cooperation by the NCB with the USDA, the Australian Federal Police, Interpol, and other agencies as well. Is this something, that we are seeing happen now for the first time, or is it something that is common earlier too? Also, is this a model that can be followed further if we are seeing drugs and illicit activities being funneled through other countries, with an aim of harming India and Indians?
You ask me?
Yes.
Definitely. See,
you've been in the NCB, so you know how things work.
No,
is this something new, or something that we are seeing now happen?
Operations they have always been there. There are a lot of coordination between DAE and NCB and other organizations. It has always been there. As Maniji rightly pointed out about the MOUs, there are MOUs in place. Okay, and if I talk 2 decades back, also the operations were there. Coordinated operations. But this particular operation, what we are talking now, it's spread into various continents. And if I am not wrong, more than 10 countries. That template is very important. Okay. And one more point, what has been brought now, is about the role of our neighbors, Pakistan. Okay, so I have done extensive work on that. Very soon, my book will be there. It's my second book on the same subject, entirely covering this particular angle. So, what has been now? What I'm trying to say is that Pakistan definitely has got a role, a very big role, as far as the drugs are coming. All the marine coast line se jitna bhi drugs hai, it has all the drone droppings in Punjab or Rajasthan or marine sector or Kerala. It is all Pakistan. But what has happened now is the pharma drug going from India abroad.
Yes.
Because India is a pharma hub. See, these are two different things. Pakistan has got a very big role as far as the international drugs are concerned. More than 85% of the heroin and now the meth is being produced in Afghanistan-Pakistan border.
No, that's a valid point. That's a valid point that you're making. This pharma angle. This pharma angle is something new. How can we guard against it in the future as well, Major General Kochar?
One aspect is that there has to be a stricter enforcement law within our own country, because of course the cooperation has to be there with other countries. But as far as we are concerned, what we can influence as a nation, I think there has to be a stricter enforcement, a faster judicial process, and a greater technological surveillance, because here is the most important fact, because as someone rightly brought out, they are a step ahead of us. So for us to be actually ensuring that we are reducing the gap between a drug trafficker and an enforcement agency is that we are on top of their escalation ladder, because the moment they are going to translate into some other methodology or some other modus operandi, we should be aware of that modus operandi and we should be able to immediately strike that. Because what is happening is that this technology fact, as we are actually discussing the dark web, the encryption tools, the social media platforms are being used. But where is the surveillance on these platforms?
Right. That's something that we need to increase. That's something that we need to increase. Okay, I've run out of time. Alok Mehta, last word to you.
Needed, and especially people in India. That's why I've been told by some senior officer also, the international telephone they use, the number, they are not using the Indian number on. So sometimes it's technologically, and then judiciary also. You see, sometimes when somebody in jail and again they get the bail and all, these kind of, we need more law. Nyaya Sanhita is also there. So I hope there will be more strict law, and immediately there should be some jail or something like that, a very serious punishment. Like in other countries, United States also very, very strong. Here in India, we have some liberal laws because of the name of the human right and all. I think we need more, and the parliament and the government, and they should all cooperate in that sense. The judiciary should also give fast judgment and not give the bails and all this kind of relief to those people who are involved in this kind of drug trafficking.
Okay. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us. Let's slip into a short break on that note.